welcome to organolysis. So welcome to another video of the NAME reaction series. Now in this video we are continuing our cross coupling based reactions. So in this video I have taken this Negishi cross coupling. Now before going to start this video, I have to clarify one more thing that I did a mistake in my previous video, that is in the Heck coupling, because I am taking this example in the example number of 2. So in this example I have done this one, so this is not actually the correct one. So this pH group is not like this, so we have to correct this one. Just because of this palladium is first attached with this iodine, so it will looks like PDI in this along with this Ln. Now this bond directly attack here, so that is how we can get this one, nitrogen here. So basically we get this thing, not this pH group in this position. So this is our correct one and this position is like this. So this is our correct structure for this reaction. So this is not the correct one, so please go and check out that video also. This is very much important for your for this class also, because in this video we are going to discuss the Negishi cross coupling, which is quite similar and the mechanism is quite similar to the Heck coupling reactions. So that is why I am suggesting you to go and check out that video first. So we are starting the Negishi cross coupling first. So to do this cross coupling reaction, we have the similar concept, that is the R1X, and if we have the R2ZNX. Now this is quite important substrate. We have to make the zinc based compound, and either we can use this nickel based compound, that nickel based complex, or palladium based complex along with the solvent and ligand. We will get this R1 and R2 in this way. So this is our coupled product. So this is our coupled product, right? Now in the year of 1976, the Eiichi Negishi and his co-workers first reported that the stereospecific nickel based or nickel catalyzed alkenyl-alkenyl or alkenyl-aryl cross coupling. So they got the Nobel Prize, actually the Heck, actually Richard F. Heck and the Eiichi Negishi and Akira Suzuki. They got the Nobel Prize in the year of 2010. In the same year they all are got the Nobel Prize due to these cross coupling reactions. So we already discussed about the Heck reaction. Now in this video we are going to discuss the Negishi, and the upcoming video we are going to discuss the Suzuki also, right? So this is the first. The second one thing is that, so we want to do that cross coupling reaction between this R1 and R2 group by using this nickel based or palladium based complexes along with this zinc group. Now why this zinc is too important, that's why we have to know the mechanism of this reaction. So first of all, the X. Now what will be the X? Now X is basically any kind of leaving group, that is chloride, bromide, iodide or OTF, like this, all those things. R1, now what will be the R1? R1 maybe your aryl, maybe your alkenyl, right? So this may be your acyl group also. In case of R2, now R2 is basically any kind of alkenyl, aryl or benzyl group. So aryl, alkenyl or benzyl substrate. So this can be your R1 and R2, and in some cases the homopropergyl group also used. Now homopropergyl group. Now you already know that what is the propergyl group. Basically this is triple bond C group. We can call it as a propergyl group, and solvents are needed and different kinds of ligand. Now ligand must be your PPH3, which is very good ligand, and in some cases the DPPE also used. Now we can write over here, DPPE also acts as a use. DBA also used. DBA is basically dibenzylidine acetone. So this can be used as a ligand, and different kinds of solvent can be used for this reaction. So let's first see the mechanism. There are two types of mechanism. One is nickel catalyzed. So first we are going to discuss the palladium catalyzed, then we will discuss the nickel catalyzed reaction. So first the palladium catalyzed, right? So this is our first, the palladium catalyzed based reaction. Now we know that palladium 0 is not such stable, so that's why we have to reduce this palladium 2 to palladium 0. So palladium 2 is our pre-catalyst. So palladium catalyst, basically palladium 2 is our pre-catalyst. From here we can generate this Ln palladium 0, that is 0 oxidation state. Now if we use in this medium, this is I am written over here in this way because of this reaction is catalytic reaction, so that's why we are getting this this compound after this reaction. So here we have this, we are starting with this R1X, we can use in this way. So this is our oxidative addition, oxidative addition. So we know what is oxidative addition, which is the increase of oxidation number of palladium from 0 to 2. So we get this one, that is your R1, here is your X along with this Ln, right? Now in this medium we have to use this zinc based complex. Now why this zinc based complex is used? Because of the to transmetallate this transmetallation. So why this transmetallation is needed? Because we are using this RZNX, right? So this R group we are going to attach with this palladium. So first we are using this RZNX, and from here we can get this ZnX2. This X and this X will remove from the system as a ZnX2, and this R group is attached with this palladium. Now this palladium is in oxidation state 2. Here is also it is in oxidation state 2. This is your R1 and this is your R group which is attached with the zinc. Now it is attached with this palladium. Now this is your transmetallation step. Transmetallation step. Now this R1 and R2 this R1 and R2 either may be cis or in trans. So we are getting this cis trans isomerization. So why this cis trans isomerization is needed? Because we know after the condition of the reductive elimination has to be cis in nature. So if we want to get from here, that is if this R1 and R2 in trans to each other, then it has to be cis, because to do reductive elimination we have to get, now from here we are getting this R1 and R as a major product, and we can get this palladium 0 back. So this will remove, and it has to be cis in nature. So you can see this is in cis in nature. If it is in trans, then it has been called another step, that is this trans cis isomerization, right? This is an important step for this reaction. Now we are going to discuss the nickel catalyzed process. Now what will be the nickel catalyzed process? Now the nickel catalyzed process is basically we are starting with this nickel, that is 2, nickel oxidation state 2 along with this X2. This X may be your any kind of leaving group. Now from here we are adding in this medium, that is your RZNX, and that is to transmetallate this compound. So from here we can get this one, right? So these are this R group, and this R, basically we have to use this 2RZNX. So this R group is attached with this now nickel. Now this transmetallation is being happened over here and along with this Ln. So you are getting this 2X2 along with this Zn. So we are getting this 2ZnX2, right? So we are getting this final compound is here. Now we can do it. Now we have to use this R1X. Now we are trying to do this R1 with coupled with this R group. So from here, this is your oxidative step. So this is your oxidative addition. From here we can get this nickel 2 and this removal of the simultaneous R group, because these two R group are leaved from the system in this way. So we can get this nickel R with X, this is your R1 actually. Now here with the Ln. Right now this is your oxidation state 2. Now we are using this another equivalent of RZnX that we want to transmetallate with nickel complex, and from here we are getting this ZnX2 leave from the system. So finally we are getting this nickel 2 and this R1 and this X2, actually this R1, this is now because transmetallated to each other. Now we can get this ln over here, right? So this is all about this one, first step. Now the second step for this reaction is there is the coordination with this Rx that we are using, that we are trying to do here, that is this R1X we can use here. So this nickel, basically this R prime R ln, and this attached with this R1X like this way, right? So this is your coordination step from here. Now from here we have to get this one. Now how can we get? Now this group can be removed, that is your reductive elimination. So this is your reductive elimination step. Now in this step we can get this one, that is your R prime and R as your major product. So this mechanism is quite similar to the Hecke coupling, but in this reaction medium we don't need any base. Now you can see over here in the Hecke reaction we have to use a base because of the beta hydride elimination, but in this case there is no beta hydride elimination is being takes place, so that is why no base is required. Sometimes some base is required to reduce this palladium 0 to palladium 2 to palladium 0, right? So this is some kind of mechanism for this Negishi cross coupling reaction. Now some key points that you should remember for this reaction is that this nickel and palladium catalyze stereoselective cross coupling. Now why it is stereoselective? You can see that this nickel and palladium basically attach with this alkyl group, and it is now by using this oxidative addition, transmetallation, and after the reductive elimination we can get a coupled product, and that is basically stereoselective in nature. So you get only one product in major amount. So that is what it is, stereoselective. Next point is that I already told you that sometimes we have to reduce this palladium 2 to palladium 0. So that is why we have to use this divalent H or N-butyl lithium like this, all those things, right? So sometimes this is needed, but this is not the thumb rule. Next one is the transmetallation. Now to transmetallate, the organozincs are very much useful. So that is why these organozincs they have been used in their Negishi cross coupling reaction. So organozincs are very much important, but sometimes the organoaluminium or lithium complex also used, but that not much used in Negishi cross coupling because the yield of the product is quite low in that cases, right? So first see the examples that are very much important. So we have this first example, that is your alkene group. So this kind of one more thing that I have to tell you that this kind of Negishi cross coupling can be takes place in sp2, there is carbon sp2 to carbon which have the carbon sp. This kind of coupling is being takes place. Second point is the carbon with the sp2 hybridized and carbon with the sp3 hybridized. This can be also be happening in some cases. So these types of coupling reaction is being doing this Negishi cross coupling reaction, right? So first see the examples that we have. This NC5H11 ZnCl. Now this is already a zinc based complex. Now it can transmetallate with this iodine. So this ZnCli whole group is leave from the system, and finally that we are getting is this one, NC5H11, this one, C4H9, right? So this is our major product from this reaction. Because this already given in the ZnCl form, so it is your organozinc compound. Now this will attack with this palladium will attach with this iodine. After the transmetallation we will get this one as a major product. Next point is that if you have this kind of substrate, this substrate looks like quite big, but the reaction is quite smaller, because this part is your organozinc complexes. Now this will attach with this position by using this palladium complex. Now this will attach with the palladium, so it will remove after the transmetallation. This CH2 group will directly attack in this position, and this is your acetal form, so this will not affected by during this reaction. So final that you get CH2CO280, and these whole rest parts are similar like this. So that's why I'm not writing the overall part, right? So this is your major product. Let's come to the another example that we have is this one. So this is the organozinc complexes. Here you have the palladium based catalyst. So this palladium catalyst first coordinated with this bromine, that is Br, and the final transmetallation is being takes place, and finally these two bonds are coupled to each other. So finally the product that we get from this reaction is this one. So we can do it any kinds of alkyl group or aryl group by using this Negishi cross coupling to couple each other. So this is not bond. So this is your final product from this reaction. Now let's come to the next example that we have. Similar, the organozinc is given, iodine is given, this palladium is attached with the like this way, this palladium iodine complex, and finally to transmetallate this with this zinc, this whole part will leave from the system, and this two sp2 center will attach with each other. So this is how we get the final product from this reaction. So we can get this kind of product by using this Negishi cross coupling, right? So this is your final product from this reaction. Let's come to the previous year question that we have. In the year SIR NET December 2014, they give you this type of reaction, this kind of condition, and after that you have this condition. You have to predict both A and B. Now let's do it step by step. First we have this OH and this I2PPH3. Now what is the role of this I2PPH3? In presence of I2PPH3, we write this I2 in this way. So this PPH3, phosphorus as a lone pair, it will directly attack with the iodine and it will leave from the system in this way. So from here we can generate this kind of bond, PPH3 plus iodine this way, and one I minus is free from this reaction. Now we have this kind of group, so we can write this one, that is nitrogen with BOC, this OH. Now this oxygen lone pair, we know that phosphorus oxygen has a quite stronger bond, so this will directly attack over here. So finally that we get from here is that, so imidazole is given, so imidazole takes a proton from this system. So finally we are getting this one, that is PPH3. And if it is attack over here, this I will leave from the system in this way. So this is now positive. Now this is your BOC. Now this I minus is now free, so this I minus will go attack over here to form this type of phosphorus oxygen double bond, and finally the product that we get, this is your NBOC and this is your iodine, right? So this is your A product, that is your A. So this is your NBOC over here, right? So this is your A. Now this group has to attack with this one. Now we can see over here this zinc is given, so this iodine is first transmetallate with this zinc, so we are getting these ZNI complexes. Now we have this palladium based catalyzed reaction. Now the important thing of this reaction is the reactivity. Now we have two leaving group, that is one is Cl and one is Br. So for the reactivity we already discussed in the Higgs coupling reaction. In presence of palladium catalyzed reaction, the reactivity order of this group is this one, that is Br, iodine, Br, Cl, and then OTF, like this way. So from this concept we have to take in these two parts, that is the bromine is comparatively more reactive than Cl, so this it will complexes with this in this position, not this position. So finally the product that we get, that is Cl, here is your cyanide, and this whole group is attached this one. So this is your final product, that is your B. Now see how simple the question was. So this part is quite tricky, so you have to make this leaving group iodine, and then after the transmetal, then this zinc iodine, that is the organozinc complex, finally the transmetallate, and it will give this final product, right? Let's see another example that we have this CSIR NET December 2016. You have this bromine kind of group, a leaving group over here, the whole substrate like this, and along with this 2 lithiopyridine and ZnHCl PD2 DBA whole 3, all those 6 like this. Now we know that this Zn will, you have these 2 lithiopyridine. So now this lithiopyridine is first transmetallate with these zinc complexes. So first of all, this zinc complex is attached over here, and this palladium complex is attached with this PDBr in this way, hold those things. So you are getting this one, and in this position you have getting like this ZnCl like this, right? So this is how we get this one. Now these two bonds are coupled to each other, and this whole part will leave from the system. Finally, the product that we get from here is this one, right? This mu and this group 1. So this is your major product from this reaction, and along with this whole group, this group remains intact. Now this is how we can get this one. Now this question was, both the question was came in for 4 marks. Now let's see how simple the question is, and by knowing this Negishi cross coupling we can do it all those reaction, right? So I hope this video is very much helpful for you. If you have any doubt, let me know in the comment section. I will definitely try to also answer all those questions. So that's it for this video, and if you like this video, press the like button and share it with your friends, and thank you so much for watching.